Oh, I'm all in my emotions. You know it's gonna be hype when they start playing the OP in the episode. That's when you know it's about to hit horde. But anyway, hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our weekly FruBa discussion video. Today we're here to talk all about episode 11, All Mine, but before we get into all of that, I do, as always, want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. So a big thank you to Dude Melio, Morgan Romero, Anime Lover 2427, Marquinty2, and Matt87 Eagle. Thanks so much for sharing last week's video, guys, and if you too would like to be in the next FruBa video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout out the first 5 of you in next week's video. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, you better do that, otherwise I will give you the Soma curse. I can do that. That's a thing that I can do. Bet you didn't know that. So you better hit that subscribe button, eh? Better get on that. Okay, so here we go. We're here to talk about episode 11, All Mine, or as it should be titled, All My Feels, because this one packs some heat. You know, this one packs a punch. It hurts like a son of a gun, and really there's 3 specific characters that I really want to talk about. The first one is obviously Kagura, but because that's like the most that I have to say, I'm gonna save Kagura till the end of the video, because the other 2 characters that I want to talk about, one might surprise you and one you definitely know I'm gonna talk about, especially considering what happens in this week's episode. But one of them is Tohru, of course, but the other one, and it's the one we're gonna start with, is Aya, which might be a surprise. I want to talk about Ayame, because when we open the episode, it's basically the aftermath of the beach arc, and so one of the characters we haven't seen in a while is Aya, and I missed this man. I really want to see my boy Ritsu again as well. That man is my Zodiac, and I feel like we haven't seen Ritsu in ages, so you know, I just want to see my guy again, specifically because I want to see if he changed his kimono, because in fairness, that kimono is fire, so hopefully he does not. But regardless, yeah, seeing Aya was honestly, like, A, happy, because I haven't seen Aya in a while, but B, it was a much-needed moment of comedy, because the last few episodes have been intense as hell, and judging by what I've seen a lot of fans of the manga talk about, as well as just the general vibe I get from the show itself, the beach arc changed things. Like this whole situation has definitely shifted the show's perspective, and I have a feeling it won't be as funny as it used to be, which is fine, because honestly, I was here for the drama just as much as the comedy. And the comedy's still here. You still get those like comedic bits, like Kagura pushing Kyo back like a full mile, or Tohru doing her like like the nervous thing. You still get all that. You still get the comedy stuff. It's still funny, but it just, like, you can feel like the drama, which used to take a backseat, is now like driving the car at this point. But it does make me sort of miss characters like Aya, who were like some of the funniest members of the Soma group. And seeing him here, even he gets a moment of drama where he regrets that he couldn't protect Yuki, because he's mentioned specifically that he heard that Akito showed up, and yet again, he wasn't there to protect his little brother. And that hurt, like, given what the episode we had with Aya a few episodes back now, like way back at the start of the season, where he says that he wants to be there more, like he wants to make up for not being there for Yuki before. He wants to, you know, try to make up for that. So the fact that Akito shows up and Aya's not there, like, Aya once again feels responsible. And I do have to wonder, somebody like who crafts what ifs, like I would love to see a what if story. What if Aya was there? Like, would he have actually done something, or would he too have fallen in line? I have to think that he would have fallen in line, but I think it would have emotionally destroyed him. So maybe I'm glad Aya didn't show up. But yeah, it was a sweet moment for him to be like, I wasn't there for you again, but I guess you'll just have to accept my loving embrace. And of course, Yuki's like, I'm good. But yeah, it's nice to see my boy back. And then you have Tohru. Now, Tohru, again, as I said in the last video, there are few characters in this anime season, or even just like in general, that I am as proud of as I am of Tohru for last week. Tohru could have easily cracked under the pressure of Akito. Akito was a formidable force, so the fact that Tohru didn't back down And if anything, her resolve is only strengthened by that meeting. It truly made me proud of Tohru. But also, you see this girl taking the steps to move these people forward. She's not just gonna like wait for the next big event. Tohru's getting ready, you know, like she's assembling a squad to break the curse, to break these false bonds. And who does she turn to but Kazuma, which was a surprise. She turns to Shisho, which I love. And seeing like the pair of them sort of, I don't want to say like be talk behind people's backs, because that's not what's happening. It's more just them like, and I don't even really want to say scheming either, but that is kind of what's happening. It's basically Tohru and Kazuma saying, this is what's gonna happen if we don't fix this. Like, we have to save them, which I love, because it just shows that Kazuma truly is like Kyo's dad, essentially. Like, I know that Kyo has a biological dad, but that guy sucks, in case you forgot. And basically it's been Kazuma the whole time. Like, he's been there, he knows. So the fact that Tohru turns to him specifically, I really appreciate, because A, he's not a member of the Zodiac. He is a member of the Soma household, but he's not a he doesn't have a Zodiac spirit in him. He wasn't born with that, right? So that's key. The fact that, and he even mentions like that Akito has a certain level of control over the other Zodiac members. So it's hard for them to break that sense of godliness that comes from Akito, right? That sort of empowering nature to Akito. It's hard for them to overcome that, so it's gonna have to come down to people outside. And honestly, when you think about it, it's part of the reason why Akito doesn't really like that people venture outside the Soma estate, because it could lead to them meeting somebody like Tohru, who could potentially show them that Akito's love is false and the bonds that they have there are not real, that they are brittle and can break easily. The only reason they haven't broken yet is because somebody hasn't shown them that they can. And that's what I think Tohru is there for. That's what Shigure is betting on. And Kazuma, like, I love that Kazuma seems almost surprised by Tohru's resolve. And what I loved this part, is Kazuma saying that Akito is just a child, a screaming, temper tantrum throwing child. That's all Akito is. And I was like, hell yeah! Oh, Akito's the worst! So I loved hearing Kazuma say that, because it's like, hell yeah, Kazuma knows what's up. That man knows what's good. Like, that man knows what's up. The fact that Kazuma calls out friggin' Akito for just being this screaming child, just throwing a temper tantrum anytime something doesn't go their way. Kazuma rightfully calls him out for it and tells Tohru, like, while I wish I could be more help, if I can help, I will. Which I love, right? Because just the fact that he also doesn't, like, he's trying to not only save Kyo, but he even says, like, if in the worst case scenario, Kyo gets locked away and everybody is taken back to the estate. That's the worst case, and I don't want that to happen. But they're not alone, which I was surprised by. I don't know why I was surprised by it, because in hindsight, I probably should have seen this coming. But I was still surprised when Tohru bumps into Rin after she leaves Kazuma. And Rin just says, like, you better steer clear of the Somas, like, if you know what's good for you. And obviously, like, we know that's not necessarily a threat, just sort of a suggestion, but also maybe a threat. And Toru's just like, all right, whatever, and just sort of like walks off, is just mostly confused by what that could mean. And then Rin goes inside and says, like, why is she here? What did she say to you? Like, what does she want? And first of all, I'm surprised that she just waltzes in. And I love that Kazuma's like, man, a lot of customers today. But Rin just says, like, what is she here for? And Kazuma says the same thing you're probably here for. And Rin responds that she doesn't want her to do anything unnecessary. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, okay, so I wasn't sure what Rin's plan was, right? I assumed that maybe she was doing something for Akito, but maybe Rin's like, nah, screw this. I'm a take down. I'm like Captain Anarchy, and I'm a take down the establishment. Like, maybe that's what she's here for. And like, I don't know, like it seems like she's also trying to break the curse to some degree. I don't know, like but like if that's the case, then Rin, swallow your pride and work with Tohru and Kazuma. It'd be great. You'd be a three-part union against Akito. Like if that's the case, Rin, my girl, you need to trust people more. Which, in fairness, being a Soma, I can understand why that would be difficult. But speaking of trust issues, I got something I gotta say, because we gotta move on to the third person that we gotta talk about. Some of y'all, and I'm not gonna say who, mainly because I don't remember their names, but sometimes when I would talk about Kagura, I would get comments. Now, mind you, I don't read the comment section of videos anymore just because, well, it's the YouTube comments. But I would get these comments back then that anytime Kagura appeared, there was always like mostly love for Kagura, but there was always this like small subset of FruBa fans who like would actively dislike Kagura and say like she's mean or whatever, or like she hits. It's like saying like I don't like it because she punches Kyo all the time. You are watching an anime, and if you were reading this, you were reading a manga. Like it's not real. And it's meant to be a heightened reality. It's why it's animated. It's heightened reality. When Tohru does the like the nervous crap, if that was real, you would think they're weird. But because it's animated and it's over the top, it's cute as shit. And when Kagura is punching Kyo, it's just meant to show that she loves him so much she gotta punch him. Like she's so full of love and she doesn't want anyone else to go near him. She's so like defensive of him. Like it's like when people say like she hits him, she's an abuser. Shut your mouth. That's such a dumb argument. I would genuinely get comments like that. But the big one that always surprised me was that Kagura was mean. I would get those comments all the time. And I was always confused by that. But now I get it. And if you think that Kagura is mean, or you think Kagura is a bad person because of what she explains in this episode, then you, my friend, have not done a whole lot of living, and you're acting kind of like a child. Because Kagura admitting this and being open and honest with her feelings is the most mature thing I have seen a Soma do this entire show. Kagura just skyrocketed up my list of favorite Somas. Like the mere fact that she was able to confront her own feelings and admit where her love started and what a selfish and cruel place it started from. That is some honestly mature stuff. The fact that she was willing to do that. And what killed me too is when she is trying to convince Kyo to go on a date with her, mostly because she knows that she's losing him. Like that to me shows that she's human. Like it's not just that she's able to confront this full force and she's over it. The fact that she asked him on a date and then that friggin' I love you so much scene that I'm gonna get to in a second. It shows that Kagura is, at the end of the day, while she's able to make these mature decisions, she's human. The heart wants what it wants. And obviously that's not gonna go away just because she has this moment of clarity. You know what I mean? Like she still is gonna be into Kyo, and that's not gonna go away, whether or not she supports Kyo being with Tohru like the rest of us sane people, or, you know, otherwise. But like, let's be real. I'm all about the Kyo Tohru ship. If you don't ship it, I'm sorry. I think you're crazy. Even Kagura ships it, and she loves the boy. But yeah, if she's willing, like, the fact that she's still, like, accepting of this new dynamic between Tohru and Kyo, but she still knows, like, deep down that she still loves him and will get caught up in that, like, that's so human to me. I love that scene. And I feel like everybody's been there, like, where you like somebody, but you know that A, the two of you probably wouldn't be that compatible, and B, you know they're happier with and better with somebody else. Like that's the worst. That feeling is awful. And I've felt it in that scene where she says just go on a date with me. Like just let me pretend for a little bit longer, please. And it's like, oh my god, that's so good. The writing is so good. Even Kagura like explaining to Kyo like how when she saw his true form, which, like, we've always known that she's seen it before. Like, we've known that Kagura has seen the crazy-looking true form version of the cat spirit. But we never, like, saw it. And like, this time, like, we see it. And, like, we see that first interaction Kagura has with the cat spirit, and it is scary. And she's a little girl, so she runs. And honestly, hard to blame her. Even now, that would be scary. Like, even if he turned into the cat right there, that would still be scary for Kagura. It would be scary for me, and I'm a grown-ass man. That would still be scary. But, like, at the same time, that fear that she had, she felt awful. Like, she felt gross and scared and unclean, she says. And the fact that she ran away haunted her. Like, the fact that she treated him like that. And the fact that she used to feel bad about being born with a zodiac spirit, but meeting Kyo made her feel better because at least she wasn't as bad and worse off as Kyo. And it was this really childish, which makes sense, she was a kid at the time, and selfish place to be in. That's a selfish mindset. But she recognizes that as she gets older, right? She matures and grows and learns from that experience and is a better person now, and is able to admit that she's started to love him from a place of selfishness, where she wanted to make up for the fact that she ran away from him. It started because of her own cowardice, not genuine love for him. But then this scene pops off where all of a sudden the OP starts to play, and my heart cracks into a million pieces as Kagura realizes she does love him. No matter where it started, she loves him. Genuinely, with all her heart. And that's, oh no. That scene is beautiful. Like, that I love you scene. It probably helps that, like, you hear the OP start to kick up, and that's when she just turns and, Kyo-chan! Like, oh god. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a heavy scene. And she just says, I love you. Daisuki. And she just says, I love you. And then she cries a bit and then blurts out, I love you so much. And it's genuine. You know that she does. Like, you know she does. And he knows that too. But Kyo just can't reciprocate. He knows he can't. So he doesn't just let her say, I love you. He's man enough to walk up to her, hug her, and say thank you. Even though he can't reciprocate, he needs her to know, like, that he is appreciative. And I love that. Kyo has grown so much. Like, I don't even know how the old Kyo would have reacted to that. Like, I don't know if he would have been okay with everything that Kagura was saying. He probably would have ran off or said something mean or something. But Kyo now just holds her, says thank you, and waits for her to stop crying. And goddamn, that scene was beautiful. It got me all up in my feelings. And Kagura, like, going home afterwards, and, like, her mom, thank God some of these Somas have a nice mom. Have some nice parents, Jesus. But yeah, Kagura just says, like, don't pity me. Like, I don't need that. I was selfish, and I need to feel this. And, like, the fact that she knows she needs to feel that. When you get your heart broken, you either distract yourself, or you just accept that you need to feel that. And like, that's how most people, I think, get over heartache, is they have one night where they're like, you know what? I'm gonna just be here. I'm gonna just be in this moment of sadness, and then I'm gonna start to put the pieces back together. And I think that's what Kagura's gonna do. And you know what? I'm proud of her. I was proud of Tohru last week. This week, I'm proud of Kagura. And if I hear any one of you little shits talking any sort of ill will towards my girl Kagura, I will drop kick you into next week. So help me Akito. But on that note, everybody, I'm going to wrap up this week's video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot and share if you care. And again, I want to repeat, if you have not hit that subscribe button, please do so. I don't want to have to give you a Soma curse. It would be complicated. Also, before we go, I do, as always, have to give a big thank you to the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people, these lovely people who have probably hit that subscribe button. Look at these people. If you want to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out that first link in the description. Check out our Patreon page. For as little as a cup of coffee, in fact, less than a cup of coffee a month, you can help keep this channel afloat, and I would sincerely appreciate it. But this is where I leave you, everybody. I am going to go defend my girl Kagura, and until next time, you stay classy, AniTube, and wash your dang hands.